Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today with Season 4 Reloaded, we got a brand new rifle in Warzone and also Vanguard. It's the VARGO-S. Very similar to the Vargo 52 in a lot of ways, but it plays a bit different in game when it comes to what you want to use it for. Today, we're going over how to unlock it super quickly, best ways to level it up, and of course the best loadout for it as well. I'm breaking down if it's meta or not as we go through everything. If you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, because every day I got you covered with everything going on in the world of Call of Duty. Also want to give a quick shout out to my friends over at Scuff. The PlayStation 5 Reflex controller might be the single greatest controller I've ever used. And if you don't play on PlayStation 5, maybe you're an Xbox fan, maybe you like the old Impact controllers, they got something for everybody. Whether it's old gen, current gen, they've got controllers for you. If you ever want to pick up a Scuff for yourself, code Immortal gets you a nice little discount at checkout. Link for that will be down below. So when it comes to the VARGO-S here, this, I'm not gonna lie, is one of the easiest weapons you can possibly get right now. As we all know, the unlock challenges for the mid-season weapons, usually pretty obnoxious, pretty tedious. It's things like get 15 kills while inside of smoke, while also being stunned and 360ing in 15 different matches. They're just like super extra challenges. This one, about as simple as it gets. For multiplayer, for Vanguard multiplayer, or for Warzone, you need to get 15 close range kills. That's it. You can get that done in 1 to 2 matches over on Vanguard multiplayer. I've seen a lot of players trying this in Modern Warfare multiplayer. It's not working like it has in the past for things like the Blixen. So if you're doing this, it does need to be in Warzone or Vanguard MP. If you own multiplayer, that's the way to go, because 15 close range kills, jump into Shoot House or DOS House, I think it's called, or Shipment, and it's like, it's one game. It's like 5 minutes of gameplay, and you got the base weapon unlocked here. If you're in Warzone, the best way is 100% to go into Plunder. That's going to be your best bet there, just for ease of use, if you will, in terms of getting close range engagements. And of course, if you die, you can keep respawning, right? So this thing, very easy to unlock. Now, if you want to try the zombies challenge, it's something like get 20 kills while using a rifle without being hit by a zombie 50 times. Little bit too extra, not worth the time. Multiplayer or Warzone is the way to go for this. Now, of course, you could always go through and actually buy the bundle blueprint. There is a blueprint available for this, the Fate Decider, and it comes equipped with a handful of different attachments. Some are decent, some you definitely want to change, but keep in mind, for Warzone, if you buy the blueprint, you cannot customize it until you unlock the base weapon. You have to get those 15 close range kills, and then you can go in and change things up. Otherwise, you are going to be stuck using these base blueprint attachments here, which definitely is not the best build. It's all right, but there certainly are better ways to build this out. So just keep that in mind. Then as far as leveling it goes, something I always try and do for you guys whenever we're doing these new weapon videos is figure out what level you need to hit on this gun to maximize the class setup here. Because let's be honest, going all the way up to level 70 on Vanguard guns is tedious, and it takes a long time, even with double weapon XP. So I figured the sweet spot for this is 56. That's where you're gonna end up getting the best options for your muzzle, your barrel, your ammunition, your rear grips, everything like that. 56 is about where you need to stop, so you don't have to go all the way to max to get the absolute best setup there is, which is nice and convenient if you ask me. As far as leveling this sucker up goes, really, if you're a Warzone exclusive player, dropping into Plunder and doing as many different contracts as possible is going to be your best bet. If you're in multiplayer, just play and get as many kills as possible. That's what I did, and it took me about an hour and a half to get to 56 using some double weapon XP tokens. So this thing definitely not the most difficult weapon to obtain, and leveling it is relatively straightforward, right? So nothing too crazy, too out of the ordinary for this one. Now, when it comes to some of these attachments, this thing is particularly interesting. It doesn't have many barrel options, and the magazine options kind of stinky, I won't lie. 30 round mag and 38 round mag are not viable at all for Warzone, especially for like duos, trios, and quads. So you really only have 2 options there. And when it comes down to general gameplay with the VARGO-S, this I think is definitely going to be a more mid-range rifle, sniper support in some cases. Definitely not something that you're going to be using to compete with the NZ or with the Kilo or these other long-range weapons, just because it doesn't feel like it has that consistency. Mid-range is really its sweet spot for my gameplay with it so far. But as far as the setup goes, first off, we want to go for the MX silencer. You can definitely try and use the recoil booster, especially for some of those closer or medium range fights, but for the utmost consistency, MX silencer is going to be the way to go. Mercury wouldn't be a bad choice either, but of course, if you want to just go to level 56 and get the max setup there, MX silencer is going to be the go-to initially. Now for the barrel, like I said, only got 3 options. One increases the fire rate, and this is not really it. It's going to mess with the control a little bit more. And I just don't find this one to be that consistent, especially when it's dropping off the control, your sprint to fire, which obviously hurts close range, your general range, and your headshot damage. Just too many cons there. The first barrel, better for ADS and strafe speed and whatnot, which is decent, but still not going to be the most consistent. The custom barrel here is going to be the go-to for the better control, the better ADS, and better sprint to fire, conveniently enough. You could also maybe try and build this without a barrel and just go standard because you don't lose any range that way, but for a general mid-range rifle, custom barrel should work just fine. The optic is going to be the same old as always, either the 2.5 times or the 3 to 6. You do get a little bit more control out of the 2.5, so take that for what it's worth. It can help out a little bit there. For the stocks here, if you're going to 56, you don't end up getting the final 2 here, the padded and the custom. Custom is decent for control, and that might be the more optimal way if you want just maximum recoil. You're gonna have to level it up a lot though. Honestly, I feel like you can get away with using the LP33, which is initial firing control. Definitely pretty solid there, but also using something like the ANC here, which is better control and initial firing control, is nice and convenient for keeping it consistent in that mid-range area. You look at the cons here, this one obviously is hurting your sustained fire control. This one is just hurting your sprint to fire and hip fire, which is not super necessary on a rifle like this or on a setup like this, you know? For the underbarrel, pretty basic here. The recoil pattern is straightforward, so we're just going to go for the carver. If you get the blueprint, you get hand stop. Otherwise, you're going to have to go higher than 56 to unlock that, but the recoil being mainly vertical, carver is going to work just fine for that. For the magazine, I feel like 60 is the way to go. It is going to be the largest mag here, perfect for trios and quads, but it's going to help out with your control, which is nice and ideal. Also helps out with some of that headshot damage as well. 45 is just your basic extended mag and could work just fine if you want to, but I feel like 60 is the way to go. Of course, we're going for lengthened here. We're also going to end up going for hatch grip, which you get right away, which is nice and convenient. Perk 1, you got a couple of options. Steady for that ADS firing move speed, never a bad choice. That little extra strafe can be nice and ideal. Shrouded, you wouldn't ever need. Icy veins, you wouldn't really ever need. Unmarked is meh. Vital's not worth it. You could also go for hard scope though, which is just that general recoil control while you're aiming down sights. It's not sustained, it's not initial, so it doesn't conflict with anything. That I feel like is the most consistent there. Then perk 2, on hand for that faster ADS speed. You could also go for fully loaded if you wanted to, but for sniper support, ADS is somewhat important, not the #1 biggest factor, but it's nice to have on there where you can get it. Overall though, it's got decent control, decent mobility, and decent range as well, so it's very, very consistent in that mid-range area. I do think it's best to pair though with something like maybe a 3-line ZRG. You can definitely dabble with a long-range setup, and this probably would be the closest thing to a long-range setup you'd want to be using. Maybe dropping the 60 round for 45, but it's still, like I said, going to be tough to match up against an NZ one-on-one or a bar or an STG. Even with the nerfs, they're still going to be decent and strong enough to compete. Even things like the newly buffed Kilo and whatnot, you're pushing it a little bit. I feel like this sniper support area is where this one shines, which is curious because of course our Vargo 52 is like the best non-Vanguard rifle in the game when in terms of like long range you know, competition. So you get a Vargo for mid-range, you get a Vargo for long range. You can sort of pick your poison there, right? But that said, that is going to wrap things up for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. That way you can always guarantee you're up to date with absolutely everything going on in the world of Call of Duty. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.